Not that it looks like much. We're in the channel.
We're in the channel.
We're passing by SpaceX Central here. It's kind of low light, but I don't see any rocket stage action here. First of all, I don't know if that launch even happened on Friday. And secondly, I don't know how long it takes the ship to get back with the rocket stage. So there we go. I'll have to get some coffee. For the last time. Somebody's already here. I assume it's... Seems like a newer carnival. I just can't tell like what.
Okay, the plan this morning was to come down to the buffet for coffee, which check, and then we were going to head over to Disney for someplace for breakfast, but I can't really find anything that I want, and I'm thinking the sooner I get home, the sooner I'm back on Weight Watchers. We've got oatmeal, we've got eggs, we even have tortillas now that I think about it. So I could go home and just get back on plan right away. He's more of the problem in that he needs to eat more often than I do, and he tends to get really, he gets hangry, and he goes from like 0 to 60, so we don't like when that happens, so we try to keep him topped off. So I just sent him up to the buffet to grab something so that at least he's got something in his stomach for the drive. He eats first thing in the morning. I don't. So I'll make it till we get home. He will not make it. I just need the coffee before we go, that's all.
How about tater tots? Alright, 55 minutes till gangway. So I'm having the Birkenstock muesli, cruise food,
Meat.
sausage and bacon, Danish with cinnamon. I knocked it against the plate to see how badly it banged.
Better safe than sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
So while we're in the actual place, I was talking to Jamie about this the other day, but here it is writ large. Disney does a very good job of using color to communicate who's who. So there goes a crew member that works in the buffet. But because of the blue vests and white shirt routine, they kind of blend into the walls here. So, but if you go to Cabanas, you know who works at Cabanas just to look across the room. Like you can tell what those shirts they wear. The thing is with MSC, none of their crew members dress particularly like differently, I guess we'll say, like in such a way that you really know kind of like at a glance who's who and what's what. In fact, somebody with an officer shirt just walked by, but it was literally a white officer shirt with dark pants. Disney, it's all white. So again, you know when you see a officer coming that that's an officer coming. So anyway, I just thought I'd point that out. And then green for if you work at Starbucks. A lot of people had the same idea this morning. The good news is it said exit 7:30 and they're actually letting us off right now. Right now.
Bye.
I guess somebody complained. Terminal achieved.
All right, it is 7:35 and we are out of the parking garage. Getting up, getting out of there at Well, the plan was 7:30, but they were letting people off before 7:30. Getting in that line, keeping our luggage. That was the way to go to get out of that parking garage. I was going to say, yeah, why aren't you going where there's only one car? Why are you going where there's 2 or 3 cars? Oh, yes, let's get a breeze through the car. I'm hot. All right, Meraviglia. It was a trip.
It ended.
It's now over. It wasn't a bad trip, per se. We did have a really bad day, though. But other than that, we had a lot of fun last night.
Yep.
All right, we're in the car. It's time for the wrap up. I'm going to try to be positive. I'm positive I'm not going on that trip again. Okay, highs and lows. Let's try to be succinct. And I apologize, we are chewing gum again, but this feels like a chewing gum kind of cruise.
Yep.
So we'll try to keep the chewing to a minimum. Let's see if I can find a place to put my arm where I'm not going to lose. Okay. Highs. I enjoyed the casino. If we had stuck to just slot machines, we would have been up. But he kept playing the roulette machine, and I just have such a weak spot for those coin dozer machines where you put the money in the top and then it pushes the coins. It's basically just a slow way to donate money to the cruise line. But I enjoyed it. We had fun. We were in there for a while. Yeah, we didn't do horrible. We had fun. I think, in all honesty, I think we lost like $100, but that's not bad for 2 people for 2 hours entertainment, give or take.
So instead of highs and lows, I think the way to go at this is expectations versus reality.
Okay.
So we didn't have any expectations about the casino, so that's like its own category in itself.
And yet that was a high.
Yeah.
But maybe because we didn't have any expectations.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think we started with food on the last one.
Right.
Okay, food.
So food was definitely hit and miss.
Yeah.
My expectation was the food would be better at a place you had to pay for the food, and that was correct.
Yes, that is true. That is what happened. Hola was really good Mexican food. And Butcher's Cut Steakhouse. I kind of keep a running list in my head of the best steaks I've ever had. This one made the top 3. Easily. This one made the top 3. Yeah. That was fantastic.
The main dining room was one out for us.
Yeah, we only did the main dining room the first night, partly because we had a 9:30 third seating dinner, which we didn't even know was the thing. We could have had it changed, but we know how we tend to be with main dining rooms, so we didn't even bother. And I feel like we've said a lot of this already, if you watch the individual videos, but that's okay. Yeah, there were a couple of things in the main dining room that were good. Most of it was just okay. The buffet, most of it was just okay, and a couple of the things were absolutely inedible. Yesterday's muffin was dry. Today's muffin I can't even cut through. Yeah, that's dry as a rock. My God. How do you screw up reheating a muffin? Actually, yes, that's where we got the garlic bread, right? The first day at lunch?
Yeah.
Inedible. He ate it, but I don't know how. I couldn't bite through it. I literally couldn't bite through a little teeny tiny sliver of garlic bread. It was hard as a friggin' rock. Same with the pancakes that I got off the buffet. So the food at the buffet was really hit and miss, mostly miss.
It seems like people's satisfaction with the food, it's just lucky guesses about what to get, and then if you choose correctly across the board, then what problem?
Yeah, I mean, because that chocolate cake was phenomenal. It was really good. But right next to it was something else that was not good. It was just really strange. And I made a pact with myself on this trip that if something wasn't good, I wouldn't finish it. And so I was leaving a lot of food on my plate. Normally I would have eaten it anyway. The food on the island, phenomenal. Really. I took a little bit of a lot of stuff, thinking, I'm going to hit a bunch of clunkers, so I might as well make sure I have a whole. I think I ate everything except that blondie. That blondie was not, that was a little hard, stale-ish, kind of. But not horrible. And I think I left about half the beans. They weren't anything to write home about. But the ribs were really good. The coconut mango rice, unbelievable. We've got to do that. You've got to start doing something with coconut in our rice. What's the other thing? Oh, we had burgers. The burgers were excellent. And somebody, where were we? At Trivia. She said something about the burgers on the island are better than on the ship. And it was like, yeah. And she works there. So, food, really nothing to write home about unless you paid extra into the specialty restaurant. And even then, I had pistachio ice cream for free in the ice cream line the one day. Wasn't that great. I had pistachio gelato that we paid for. Wasn't that great. I would not have gone back for more gelato. And usually that's one of my favorite things. Anything else on the food? Our stateroom gift, because I was platinum. What am I, platinum? Yeah, diamond. I'm diamond. The stateroom gift was a bottle of Prosecco, which we never touched it. And then 6 macarons, which were excellent. Those were really good.
So that was our brush with the chocolate shop, because we never did actually eat anything there.
Yeah, we never did anything out of the chocolate shop. You couldn't smell it. My experience is chocolate shops you can smell. I couldn't smell any chocolate at all. And they were making stuff and everything. Couldn't smell a thing. So I was like, I'm not going to bother.
Gelato was good.
I just said it wasn't.
Oh. My gelato was good.
I didn't think the pistachio gelato had like hardly any flavor. It was very bland.
I had the coffee on top of it. So.
Yeah. They were out of a lot of stuff. I couldn't get a bagel at breakfast. He was trying to get beer. They only had 3 beers on tap, even though the menu had listed like 10.
Yeah.
There was something else you tried to order and you couldn't get it. They were
Nutella French toast.
the Nutella
Nutella.
They were out of Nutella, which is, in our opinion, a war crime.
Yeah.
And there were no tamales at the Mexican restaurant. I feel like the butcher's cut was out of something too.
Yeah, I forget what it is. Or was.
I don't know. But I feel like he said there was something that they didn't have. It just seemed like a lot.
Now, I did go into this expecting supply chain might be an issue. Now, whose supply chain is the question? Are we talking about like the global one where all the stuff comes from, or does MSC forget to load it on the ship, or what do we got?
Forget to order things. Oh my God, we haven't had tamales in 4 cruises. Will somebody remember to order them? Entertainment. So the people running the trivias and stuff, they were good. They were enthusiastic. They were friendly. We had fun at the couple of trivias that we did.
But boy, those trivias on that ship are flipping impossible.
No, the King versus Queen one, we only missed one question, and it's...
All right, that was like, that was the bucket
It was
number one.
super easy.
But the other ones, oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
That beer one, I went into it like, okay, I got this beer one, no problem. Because I used to, run a beer store. And no.
Yeah.
We thought it was beer labels. And it was beer origins. And
That's
they were
what it
showing
said.
bottles of stuff I'd never seen in my life.
Well, to be fair, you ran a beer store in Texas. What did they drink? Like 3 beers there?
No, there's a bunch. But we carried as many as we could because Texas does like censor out like what you can carry.
Anyway. What else?
So the Broadway theater show.
So the Broadway theater show. So we had seen little clips and stuff, and we knew a lot of the singers and stuff had accents. So we were prepared for this. And we were prepared that it wasn't going to be a Broadway caliber show that Disney puts on. We were prepared for that. So went into it, in my mind, we haven't even talked about this yet. Went into it, in my mind, I was like, okay, I'm going to give it a chance. They start singing and dancing. I'm like, all right, well, the dancing is The choreography was it wasn't the dancing.
Yeah, there was a lot of, like, stuff that was supposed to be in sync that really wasn't.
Yeah, the choreography was not great. But and yes, the singer, well, the first singer didn't have an accent. And he had a great voice. So I'm like, okay, well, if the voices are good, I can deal with the accents or whatever. That's no big deal. After him came two girls. At some point, I turned to Ethan to say, oh, they have really good voices. And he's laughing. And he was not the only one. That crowd was mean. This was not a Disney crowd that, applauded every little effort. These people were on the verge of heckling.
Jeez.
Yeah, there was some comments going on around us. Yeah, the accents kind of kill the songs, and that one girl had a phenomenal voice. I mean, you said Christina Aguilera.
Well, at first, then I thought, no, I think it's Shakira doing her Christina impression
But
of whatever song.
She wasn't saying any words.
Yeah, it was
She
literally
was
just vowel sounds.
Yeah, she was just mumbling everything. It was like,
Or not even mumbling, just not closing her mouth. It was just,
yeah, everything was just like up and down the scale. Instead of the words to the song, she was just singing the notes.
Yeah, if the words were like, we'll just go something simple, like, let's say the lyrics were I love you. It was, I love you. It's like she never closed her mouth to make the vowel sound.
And you could feel the vibe in the audience just drop. Because you could tell when an audience is excited.
Because one of the songs, I couldn't begin to tell you what it even was, because I couldn't make out the words. It was just literally...
But she was hitting all the notes. It was weird.
Well, and there was so much enthusiasm behind her performance. I think you can kind of see the shift in the audience where people started to realize, like, all right, we're going to go for enthusiasm.
Yeah.
We've given up on understanding what the hell is going on here. We're just going to go for enthusiasm.
Yes.
And that can win today.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah.
And the guy who did Elvis, he had a great voice.
Yeah, I think he was one of the opera singers.
I don't know. He had an amazing voice. But, couldn't say the word rock. He did Jailhouse Roll. He kept saying, the guy was saying roll. I'm like, maybe he just doesn't know how to sing. I literally, you ever read a book and you come across like a typo and it takes you out of the book and into reality and you're now looking at the word instead of seeing the story? That was what happened. Instead of being as part of the show, I literally wanted to stand up and go, whoa, 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 rock. The word is rock. Because he kept doing it, but...
And then the next time it came around, he even says everybody on the jailhouse floor was dancing to the jailhouse roll.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
I don't know if it was a copyright thing or
yeah,
if
but
they.
it's like, well, then there was a whole lot of other rest of the song they couldn't have done. You know what I mean?
That was weird. Anyway, we didn't go back and see another performance of anything, if that tells you. But it ended. They ended it with like, I don't know, 8 Queen songs, and I love Queen, so you know that was good. Anything else with the entertainment?
So as far as the rest of the ship goes, so this factors in, like if we were doing highs and lows, this would factor into, is that there wasn't anywhere quiet to sit on the ship really, because everywhere you go that you would try to get that out of, it's like, oh no, here's someone with a guitar. Over here, oh, here's someone else singing, and it's like a 3-piece trio or whatever. Okay, I'll go over. No, now here's a quartet. Like, can I just sit? So, well, there's your cabin. Like, yeah, well, great. So it got to be a bit much. So people complain. Like, I kind of get it now. Like when people complain on Disney ships, like, where's all the singers and 4-piece bands and stuff all over the ship? Like, well, Carnival, I guess, because that's never been a Disney thing to have that much of it everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Up to and including people go to O'Gill's and they complain that there was no like singer/guitar player at O'Gill's. Like, I'm thinking great, and I get it. Like you go on something like the MSC where it's like their version of O'Gill's, there would be a singer guitar player when it just wasn't there during trivia. We saw where he stood anyway.
Yeah.
So as far as their capability, I mean, they were okay. They're good. But it just, to me, it was too much.
Yeah. And I kind of saw that coming when we watched one of the sail away things, and you could hear the music from the ship all the way at Fish Lips where the camera was. I think I said to Jen, I said, Ethan is not going to like this because it's too much, it's too loud, there's no quiet. The only place that was semi-quiet was the bamboo pool area.
But then it was absolutely stifling.
But it was so hot in there. They had the thing closed. They had the roof open the day we got on, and then they closed it.
And I would have thought, I thought they're going to run the air conditioning. No, they're not.
No, it was so hot and so humid in there that you couldn't just sit and read a book. I think my Kindle would have malfunctioned with all the humidity.
So I'm sure someone in the comments will say, well, it's supposed to be a solarium. Like, well, they definitely made a solarium out of it.
Yeah.
I guess if solarium means place you can grow tomatoes, then yes, that's what they were doing.
Yeah. Anything else? What else? What are you thinking?
I think that's it for the entertainment unit.
Okay.
So, next up. I guess we'll say the ship itself. It's huge.
It's huge, but I feel like we only got to see part of it because so much of it is taken up by the yacht club.
Yeah. Or zoned residential. Enough so that even the ship map is like there's a whole band. Like, yeah, forget it. It's just rooms. So don't worry about whatever this stuff is.
all of these floors are just rooms. You don't care. The layout, where the rooms, how the rooms are numbered and stuff. How the inside cabins have their own little hallways. So the numbering system is all goofy.
Yeah, and you really have to kind of like choose your own adventure as to what hallway you walk down. And maybe it'll lead to an elevator, or maybe it'll lead to your cabin, or maybe it'll lead to yacht club. It's like you just never know.
Or Narnia. It was weird. And there's no, on Disney, I don't know if you guys know this, on Disney, if you look down at the carpet, there are stars all over the pieces of carpet. The top of the star points to the front of the ship. So you can, as you walk, if you look down, you can see if you're walking forward or aft. There was no signal at this ship at all, which direction you were ever going. So it did make, for Ethan, making a hell of a lot of wrong turns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
least with Disney, it's 2 hallways with little connector ones here and there for the inside cabin.
And yesterday morning, I was actually using somebody's uneaten plate of food sitting in the hallway as one of my markers as to where our room was. Because I was going back and forth like 2 or 3 times. So I was actually using a plate of food. This is a different version of Hansel and Gretel using breadcrumbs to find their way back to their room. No, the ship was pretty. I wasn't particularly blown away by anything. I mean, the LED screen, yeah, it's the largest at sea, but it didn't really do much.
There were no LED screens.
We never saw any shows. We never saw it come to life.
There were secret shows. They were not on
It would change. I thought it was neat that they used it for muster drill to show everybody. They put up the map showing you where. I don't know that it was useful for that, but I thought it was interesting that they tried. Embarkation was sort of smooth, but kind of a cluster. The parking garage, an absolute cluster.
Well, but we got there when everyone was all leaving. So.
Yeah, we got there about 9:30ish, which is one of the reasons we got off the ship at 7:30 today, because we did not want to have to deal with all of that traffic.
Yeah, this 9:30 arrival seemed aggressive, and it was. So.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we got on the ship.
But we got on the ship, and they had actually changed it. They sent us a text and said your arrival time is 11. They let us get in line and get into the terminal early, so we didn't actually do our 11 o'clock arrival time. Anything else?
There was another ship-related thing. And, well, partly embarkation did, and debarkation.
Debarkation was great.
Yeah.
We got in the...
In fact, it was really cool that instead of having to show your passport and that whole deal, they do facial recognition.
Yeah, they just do facial recognition.
Zoom out.
Yeah, you didn't need to show anybody your passport. You didn't need to show anybody your driver's license. You literally just got in line. They scanned your face and you were out.
Yeah.
So that was really nice.
But yeah, as far as like the decor and just the general styling of the ship, I mean, it's a very stylish ship.
Yeah,
it's very contemporary. It looks nice.
I have made known my opinion on the lack of storage in the rooms.
Yeah, well, the cabin's a category, so it's going to just ease right into that and say the cabin.
The cabin, it was fine except for the lack of storage. I didn't have, it wasn't too small, even though it was smaller than what we're used to. The decor.
Well, like we've cruised the Magic, which is smaller. And so, but even then, like the storage that they have on that, there's more of it than there was in this.
Yeah.
So, but I was saying that, well, if we can handle this room, then we can do the Scarlet Lady, because the rooms are not identical, but similar in appointment.
Yeah.
I did like that the, I
Don't forget 417.
Yeah.
The shower was definitely taller,
Yeah.
so he enjoyed that. What else?
Bed was reasonably comfortable.
Bed was fairly comfortable, a little on the firm side. It was fine.
We were bookended by very noisy kids.
Yeah, and there was somebody above us. So yeah, both sides.
Enough that they shook the cabin a few times.
Yeah,
like jumping
that was
off of something. And
weird.
landing on the floor. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that was really weird. I've never had my cabin shake like that. Everything, the ship sailed perfectly smoothly, but the seas were fairly smooth. So.
Here's another difference. We're back to the ship again. Is with the Dream, you know it when you're docking somewhere. Does it hold?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just never did that.
No.
To the point where it's like, are we moving? Are we stopped? What's going on here?
That's true. It did turn very, very smoothly.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'll give it that.
pull up against the dock in such a way it was so stealth. Like,
Yeah.
you sure we're doing
Well,
this?
and that goes back to, in my opinion, goes back to what you said about this being a hotel. Because it did feel like we never really went anywhere. It never really felt like we were moving. Therefore, it literally felt like we were at a hotel. And I didn't like that. I didn't like the losing that cruise ship luxury, because that's what a Disney cruise feels like to me. It's this luxury cruise thing. You know you're cruising. They do the ship looks like old-fashioned luxury cruising with all the wood and the costumes. I know we mentioned the costumes earlier, but the costumes on a Disney cruise ship, you know instantly if somebody works in the kids club, if somebody works front desk, if somebody is one of the officers. You know instantly. And this, they were all just in blue and white. They could have been anything from housekeeping to the captain for all we knew. And it gave it a hotel feel. It didn't give it a cruise ship feel. Disney does all of these little nautical touches all over the place that they don't want you to ever forget that you're on a Disney cruise.
So another thing that we were told about, so back to the ship again, see, I knew it would come to me. We were warned, like, oh my God, if they announce anything, they've got to do it in 38 languages. They can't just do it in English. English, period.
Yeah, that was it.
In fact,
Just
there
English.
was one fewer language than Disney. Disney would at least do it in
Yeah,
2 languages.
that's true.
Here it was nope, English, and we're done.
Yep. In fact, actually, it might be 3 languages if we count the fact that on the last Disney ship we were on, every time the captain gave an announcement, somebody would come on afterwards and repeat it verbatim so that you could understand him. His accent was so thick that you really had.
And
So
they
you
kind of did that on the MSC as well.
Yeah, it was literally they would read the exact same statement, and then you'd be, oh, that's what he said. Man, that man had an accent. Let me think. Is there anything else? Oh. I assume we touched on this, but I'm going to go back to service. Most of the service was really good, but I don't know if it was a language barrier or what sometimes. We went to the main dining room for breakfast. I ordered coffee. There was no Splenda on the table. I asked for Splenda, and I was told we don't have that. I knew perfectly well there was a ton of it up in the buffet. And I also always carry Splenda with me. So it was in the room. I didn't bring it to breakfast. And I'm like, no, I'm not using sugar in my coffee. So I got up to go back to the room. And I apparently must have been using my Karen walk without even really realizing it. Because the maitre d' at the entrance, she stopped me and said, she just started to say something about, have a good day, and I'm like, I'll be right back, I have to go get something. And she chased after me and said, what do you need? And I said, Splenda for my coffee. You don't have any Splenda. She says, I'll get it. So she had me point out where we were sitting. She goes, I'll be right back. I'm gonna get it. But I don't think I was particularly nice at that moment because I wanted coffee. And I was like ticked. It was just like one more thing. It hit the morning after a really kind of crummy day. And I was so determined to have a good day that day, and then that was like the first thing that happened. And then we got off the ship and went on the island, and everything was fine.
We'll talk about that because you were saying about the service. Because it's another thing, people come back with these MSC cruises, and oh my God, the cruise was terrible, and oh my God, so rude, whatever. Like, I don't know what you were doing or who you were talking to.
No.
Rudeness was never an issue.
No,
as
they
far
were
as like
very friendly.
If anything, it was like cardinal sin once was that a thing that I experienced on MSC.
Yeah.
Where, like, now to be fair, we're on the private island. This woman asked, I don't know, like if she was asking where's the nearest garbage can, or I know it was, do we just leave the umbrellas on the beach and you'll come get them, or do we have to bring them back to the rental thing? And the guy's like, I have no idea. But when he drove away, he was the guy who collected the garbage. Like, all right, so I mean,
You should know.
It's one of those, like, I'm going to give him a pass just because he wasn't really customer facing and wasn't expecting to be. But on the flip side at Disney, it's like, kind of like in the Army, everyone carries a weapon. So it's like here in Disney, it'd be like, you know, everybody's customer facing, whether you like it or not. You know, because you really could ask, like, the guys who, like, lacquer the railings, whatever, or something. And they're not going to say, I don't know. They're going to say something like, let me find out.
Let me find out.
They'll direct you to who can do it or whatever. Like, they're not going to just leave you hanging with nothing.
Yeah.
But rudeness, never an issue. People were always very nice and friendly and whatever. And if they didn't know, at least was a friendly shrug, I don't know. But like another thing that we would get on Disney that we didn't get here is I couldn't begin to tell you who our room steward was.
Yeah, he never told us his name.
Yeah. And if we saw him, I mean, it was incidental. I mean, with Disney, normally you know who your room steward is. And it's not like you stand there like, you know, looking for a handout or something. It's just, you know, they're attentive, they're nearby. And with MSC, it's like, okay, there's people doing the rooms and stuff. I have no idea which of these people is doing ours, but whatever.
Yeah. I also discovered that the Do Not Disturb button on your wall, to Do Not Disturb for the room, that just brings cast members to your room.
It just means don't make up the room, and that's all that.
I was gonna say, it was like knock after knock after knock. Why? We're napping. Leave me alone. Yeah, it just kept happening. We must have four different people must have knocked on our door while the Do Not Disturb thing was on.
All right, so the private islands.
The private island, there wasn't anything to do. I mean, other than lay on a beach. I think there was a scuba thing or maybe a snorkeling thing. There were a couple of shops, maybe 2 or 3. You can't see Ethan at all right now, can you? Hang on, he'll complete. There we go. He'll complete the turn. I think there were float rentals. If you went to the South Beach area, there were diving platforms you could go swim out to and land. But I didn't see like any boat rentals or bikes or sea-doos or I'm trying to think what else you would normally see. There was no water park area. Was there a pool or no? There was no pool. So it's really just lay on the beach and, you know, playing the waves. So for what it was really good. We pulled our chairs. If you want an umbrella on the South Beach, you have to rent one. They're $15. Ethan's go around for that was he pulled our chairs under a palm tree. You're not even showing. There you go. So if you're just looking to hang out at the beach, then the island is great. If you're looking to do a bunch of watery activities, it's not going to cut it.
It's not the island for you.
No.
If that's your goal.
Food was great though. Food was absolutely. I know we've said this before. Food was absolutely phenomenal.
I was really shocked at how small the island was. didn't expect to see all of it from the ship.
Yeah, it's a little blip. It's a little blip of
I mean, it
sand.
made planning kind of easy, like, well, that's that and that's that over there.
Yeah, no, that was a really fun time. We had a good time on the island.
But shade is at a premium.
Yeah.
So it was funny, I broke the seal moving the chairs over to the palm tree. And then once I did it, you could see a bunch of people dragging chairs over to the nearest palm tree.
Everybody else was doing it. All the palm trees had chairs under them.
But when I looked at like the coverage and all that, like, well, why would I get a umbrella that is flaky about whether or not you're going to get shade or not?
Yeah.
Versus, you know, this palm tree where, yeah, you're going to still need to move your chair, but see, those umbrella things were staked into the ground. So there was some of that comedy watching other people trying to like move their umbrella thing and then realize it was staked.
No, it wasn't staked into the ground. It was held down by a bag of sand.
No, some of them were, they had the sandbag, but it was also staked.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Because this woman
see
tried
that.
to move it and she's like, oh no, it's staked into the ground.
I did not see that. I only saw that they had sand in them. Because a bunch of them were falling over on that first beach. From the wind. It was so windy. Yeah, so the beach was, we enjoyed that a lot. That was a nice day.
The one thing I thought was going to happen, so I thought there was going to be a lot of like really loud music on the island.
Yeah.
They had it, but it was like off to the side in such a way that it didn't carry through the whole island. The thing that carried through the whole island was construction.
Yeah, there was a lot of construction. Yeah, the whole middle of the island still isn't done. So you pretty much were just on the outskirts. But it was nice. It was still a very nice island. I still can't get over how good that banana bread was. That was excellent banana bread. And even the burger. Man, the burger was good. Liked the casino. It's mostly slot machines, and then a few table games, blackjack, maybe a little bit of poker, but not a lot. And then those coin dozer machines that I love so much that just suck up all my money, but it entertained me to no end. So I didn't find all that much to do on the ship. If you didn't want to be lambasted by music, there really wasn't anywhere to go other than your room.
Plus, we're not big drinkers.
Yeah.
So, looking at the Facebook thing, now that we're like all leaving the ship, everyone's on the Facebook group for this cruise, like, best bartender over here, no, best bartender over here. Like, that means nothing to any of us because...
Yeah, I didn't have any drinks, and he had a margarita at Ola one night. That was it. That was the only drink he had. Yeah. So we don't do the now the whole being attacked by the people for the beverage package wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, but I did have to say no 3 times.
Well, the thing was nice is, hey, you want a package? No. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they weren't as bad as I thought they were going to be. We didn't get off the ship in Nassau, which we never do anyway. But it's usually so that we can enjoy the ship. I don't know what our plan was this time. That day was just bad. I don't remember. We'll have to go back and look at the video because I don't remember what exactly we were doing, but we weren't happy with each other. We weren't happy with the ship, and we weren't happy with life that day. It did. A lot of things were just... So what I came out of this with is I'm not going to say no to another cruise line. Part of the problem with this was that we couldn't get a lot of information ahead of time. Their website, their app, I never got their app to work for me. Not once, not even on the ship. Could not get that app to work. So, and Ethan could, and you still couldn't get any information. Their website doesn't get into specifics. Their fan base does not get into specifics. parks. We were in 2 MSC Facebook groups, and every time you asked a question, you were told to call. Why can't you just tell me? If you cruise MSC all the time, why can't you help people out? Why can't you answer questions? The Disney Cruise Line forums on Facebook are fantastic. There is so much sharing of ideas and thoughts and explanations. And I mean, so many things that, yes, you could just look it up on their website or you could just call. But the fan base of Disney is kind of trained, I think, to be helpful. And I think that even especially spills over into the parks, because how many times in the park do I see somebody who looks like they're lost or looking for something, and I will stop and say, what are you looking for? You don't even need to find a cast member. You just need to find a Disney person, because we help. We want your trip to be magical too, and therefore we do what we can to help. So I'm always involved in other people's conversations when we're at the parks and when we're on the cruise ship, and I just didn't find the MSC crowd to be like that at all. If I wanted to call MSC to get my answer, I would have called MSC to get my answer. I wouldn't have asked you guys who have taken 40 cruises. You know the answer. Just help your fellow man. Okay, let me get off the soapbox. But that was annoying. That was really annoying, because
I think I said it at the private island when I was wandering around solo filming, but I'll say it here now, that yeah, looking at other cruise lines, we kind of have a feel now of like what we want versus what we don't.
Yeah.
And looking at these ship walkthroughs, because there's been a lot of that on YouTube. Like, at least you can see like a ship walkthrough, so we're just wandering around with the camera. But like, we really want quiet places to sit on the ship, and MSC Meraviglia just didn't have that. And I think the place that probably existed was Yacht Club. So that's why people are always raving about Yacht Club. It's like, yeah, that's a big upcharge to do that. So that kind of factors in, like, well, if that's what I have to do to get what I want out of this, maybe I should just do something else.
Yeah. So probably won't ever do another MSC. He really wants to do Holland America, and I could go for that.
Yeah, the Staten Down specifically.
And we both want to see the Scarlet Lady.
Yeah.
So chances are we will do non-Disney cruises in the coming years. But definitely not anytime soon.
But yeah, in my foulest of moods, I was thinking this was a mistake booking this cruise. And then when it came out the other side of all that, I said, no, it wasn't a mistake. It was a learning experience. Because it really drew into sharp relief why we like what we like. And that's not specifically Disney. It's just that, as I said in the solo filming thing, that I married into this. So I only know Disney because I married into it. And that's what Jamie was cruising, so that's what I was cruising. But now you kind of know, like, why things are the way they are. Like, well, yeah, Disney, because this, these are the things that they offer in the way that they offer it. And if that's what you like, then you got to really look at with a critical eye at the thing you're booking, because, like, I would never in a million years book Carnival full stop. But secondly, if I did book Carnival, I would never walk away from it and say, well, there was no quiet place on the ship, because it's like, it's a party ship. What did you think was going to happen? Carnival doesn't bill itself as the place for quiet places to sit on the ship. Now, my understanding is the newer ones have, the retreat or whatever, where it's the adult area that I guess is kind of quiet, but okay. But no, with Carnival, my expectation is it is a bunch of drinking and party, and loud, not allowed. So we don't book that, but it's cheap.
right, so
Yes.
that's pretty much our wrap up of this, I think. So thanks for watching. We swear Disney will be back soon.
We'll see you on the next Disney cruise.
Yep.
There's always the next Disney cruise.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're going to definitely appreciate it more than ever.
I'm going to kiss the ship.
Okay, these pancakes are hard as rocks. They're literally... A pancake should not make that noise. Yeah. MSC, you're making it really hard to like you at all. I swear to God.
How about this?
No!